Straight from Vancouver, we got the best podcast. Thorun Skundo, going hard, we here to last. Talking about everything reptilian and pussy to political conversations, getting real pushy.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Thorun Skundo podcast.
Yes, sir. Episode 8.
Episode 8.
The sun's out. It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful day in Vancouver, BC today.
Yeah, it's amazing. We survived the rapture. Mm-hmm. Or we didn't go to heaven and we're all going to go to hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you didn't go to heaven the other day.
All the people who went to heaven didn't have a chance to tell us because they just were whisked away to heaven.
Yeah. So if you're still here, buckle up.
Buckle up. We're about to go go into the new era where it's no good people left on the earth. It's all sinners and just all the bad people, degenerates. Yeah. Everyone who didn't make it to heaven.
Yeah. So we're here.
Yeah. So we're here, and we didn't get to heaven.
We didn't even get to see the fucking eclipse because it was cloudy.
Yeah, it was kind of.
Did you were you aware that it was yesterday? Like when?
To be honest, I didn't even think about it. I was just doing my own thing.
Because I woke up and I'm like, oh shit, the eclipse is today. And
it was yesterday, right?
Yeah, yesterday. And then I fucking looked out the window and I just saw clouds and I'm like, of course.
I knew Mercury was in retrograde yesterday. I felt it. There was something off about the day.
Yeah.
I'm like, something just doesn't feel good today.
Damn fucking Gatorade.
Mercury's in Gatorade.
Yeah. I like Gatorade. I like Powerade. Powerade fucking
I only
gay.
drink Straighterade.
Yeah.
Anyways, so today we have a good episode for you. A little bit more of a research topic, more similar to the Bill C-63 episode.
Yeah. With this was Thorun's topic idea.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a good idea. It's interesting, and it's I've heard other people starting this conversation in the city we live in, Vancouver, and bringing up the concept of third spaces.
Yeah. Then that's the topic, the main topic today. We have a few other topics that we're probably going to talk about too, but it's an interesting sociological concept of the third space. And
so, here, what are you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say that I found out about this topic just perusing YouTube myself, and I saw other people talking about it, and then I'm like, oh, what is that? And then I was looking into it.
I had no idea what it meant when you first told me. You're like third spaces. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know what that means, but sure, yeah, let's do it. But fuck, what was I gonna say? I forget what I was gonna say. I'm fucking tired. Okay, so let's define what a third space is for our listeners and for those who don't know.
Okay, so we can look up the definition on Wikipedia, but what
in that article he kind of defined.
In the article, it's defined, but basically, the first place is your home.
Yeah.
The second place is your work, and then the third place is a place that people gather that is not work or home, essentially. So it could be like bars, libraries.
Wait, is
parks.
it places or spaces?
I'm honestly confused.
I think it's third spaces.
I think it's third spaces, but here it says third places.
Oh, what the fuck?
So
I guess it's kind of interchangeable.
Yeah, I think it's kind of synonymous, anyways. But basically, the idea is a third place that people gather that isn't a place that's at their home or at their work.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of chilling there.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, which one? Where's the big chilling one?
Hey, copy. Put some.
Okay. I need to get familiarized with the soundboard. We've also incorporated a soundboard today. Dude, I wouldn't have even thought of it if you didn't look. You looked at me.
I felt appropriate. Okay, so basically the reason it's a topic of interest is because as the world modernizes and develops, people don't have a place that's so communal anymore. And people seem to get their sense of community through things like social media.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
And like Instagram, for example, I see it all the time. They just open and they're refreshing and they're watching stories, and it's almost compulsive.
Dude, Instagram has kind of become a third space in a way, in the weird. It's not a good.
And that's what I was thinking is like, it's kind of made me think, oh, this is a modern third space, but the problem is that it's not really a third
It lacks
space.
human connection.
It lacks real human
Yeah,
connection.
like fucking conversing with people, laughing, fucking,
Exactly.
having a good time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, so this idea of the third place, from my understanding, it was made popular by this guy called Oldenburg.
He looked kind of like a Karl Marx type figure. Was that the same guy who wrote that article, or was this a different guy?
I think that was a different guy. I
Okay.
think it's kind of been discussed ongoing a little bit.
Don't get me wrong, he had some swag. Like, he had the, like, old school pipe, like
Yeah.
a beard.
I mean, he was born in like 1930 or something like that.
Yeah.
His
Seemed
name was-
like an intellectual.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
He was a professor of sociology, Ray Oldenburg. And it's actually interesting. The more you look into it, I was looking at a few academic articles on it where it makes arguments for third spaces being good for community engagement, even political engagement. And it's interesting, some of the takes. So some of the takes are like, okay. Let's go back. Let's look at here. In sociology, the third place refers to the social surroundings that are separate from two usual social environments of home, the first place, and the workplace, the second place. Examples of third places include churches, cafes, bars, clubs, community centers, public libraries, gyms, bookstores, maker spaces, stoops, parks, theaters, and opera houses, among others. In his book, The Great Good Place in 1989, Ray Oldenburg argues that third places are important for civil society, democracy, civic engagement, and establishing feelings of a sense of place. And I noticed, like, in my neighborhood here, they tried to kind of make little places there. They block off some of the street and they put benches and stuff like that there where people can kind of hang out near the shops. So I see an attempt at the city to do some stuff like that, but it feels somehow overly manufactured.
Those are kind of dumb sometimes. Not all of them, because they have some like downtown on like Denman where they did that, and they like sectioned off a street and they put like park benches and stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool because people actually use it.
Yeah.
Because it's in a like area with heavy foot traffic, and there's a bunch of like ice cream places or like cafes or like places you can get food and take it to go and eat on the park bench. But some of these are just set up in areas where like nobody fucking uses it. Like in dumb, like there's one near my place where they like sectioned off a street and it's just like nobody sits there. They just put these fucking park benches on a block street where it's like,
No one's using this.
yeah, where if it was in an area where it had more like third spaces surrounding that space, it could be like a gathering point. But
Totally. And I think that one article that was talking about it, the Our Vanishing Third Places article that Ray Oldenburg wrote, he says specifically that it needs to be like, let's pull it up here. He says like, okay, the way stores used to be built, it had more, like, he talks about one neighborhood specifically where the way the stores are built, it had lots of patio seating and big windows and stuff like that, and people would just sit on the patios and hang out. And as cities developed, they kind of they created more of a separation between the business and the outside street by maybe having smaller patios, or I mean, he says even smaller windows, which I found an interesting observation.
observation,
And
because it's a window.
yes. And another interesting thing about it too is that small stores like mom and pop shops are kind of the heartbeat of a neighborhood, because they can pivot to what people in the neighborhood like and want, versus
They're like actually engaging with the neighborhood.
they're actually engaging with the neighborhood.
I feel like I don't want to say stereotype, but I can't think of another word. Like of like a mom and pop shop is they're always like engaging with their customers. You know, like
Yeah.
versus like sometimes you go to a fucking store, like at a bodega, and buddy will not say a word to you. You're like, oh, how's it going? He's just like, you know,
Yeah.
where like the mom and pop store, they're like, oh, how's your kids? Like, oh, how was the summer trip? Like, oh, what are you guys up to? Like, they're really like engaged and they like know their customers.
Yeah.
That was one thing I really like took away from my time working at the dispensary was how engaged they were with their, like they knew everyone's names. They like really engaged with them. They gave them discounts. They put on like, you know,
Community events.
fresh drop Fridays. Where I don't know if you've seen, they do like once a month. They'll like have a barbecue and they give out free food to the community and stuff. Like so, it's like I think that's a good example of like people that engage with the community and create that like
A place for people to gather and hang out.
Yeah.
That's actually a great example.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that through the rising cost of rent and stuff like that, and a lot of
even
zoning laws.
Dude, even I think social media has disconnected people a lot. Where like
Yeah.
if we didn't have social media, bro, people would be gathering.
You'd be forced to go
In
outside
person.
a lot of the
Yeah.
time. And just go like, and that's another defining feature of a third place is that it's convenient to get to. Because maybe there's a nice bar or club downtown, but if I have to spend more than 5 to 10 minutes walking there,
Yeah.
it's not part of
Yeah.
my community anymore.
Yeah.
It's the different community.
No,
and
that-
it's not going to have that sense of community anymore.
I find the issue is with the city we live in, Vancouver, is there's so much yellow tape.
Exactly.
You know, and it's like crazy. Like to open a business,
They make it very, very difficult.
50% of your overhead cost is going to be just like applications and licensing and zoning and getting all these like permits. Literally, like half of your whole business investment is put towards this fucking stupid shit that
Yeah.
really is like, sure, like in certain ways it has a purpose and like we shouldn't have like none of it. But like,
Shout out Canada.
yeah, shout out none of it. But but fucking like for example, like I saw a video. I don't know if you saw this guy. He did a video on the seawall in Vancouver and talking about how like our seawall is nice in Vancouver, but it's like very rare in the sense where if you look at seawalls in other cities around the world, they have like cafes, they have businesses, they have bars, they have street vendors, they have like like clubs, bars, restaurants, like where the seawall in Vancouver is fucking water and grass.
Yeah.
And the
And
city
trees.
will not let you build anything there.
And that's
I
where
feel
I
like the
feel kind
city-
of conflicted about it, though, because on one hand, I kind of get the desire to preserve it in its more natural form.
Yeah.
But it's, and then we get to the deeper philosophical questions of humanity and the reality that the more people there are, the more space we need to
Well,
take
it's
up.
preserving. It's first preserving the nature compared to like creating like a nightlife community or just a like community for young people. I don't know. I feel like Vancouver's kind of been like politicked by an older crowd for a
Yeah.
long time of like Karens
Yeah.
and whatever a male version of a Karen is, like a Gregory or something like that. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Greg.
I mean, I think there's probably a middle ground though, and actually they, Ray talks about this in the article this one article that I sent you, where people kind of just pull up within the neighborhood and set up shop and start a little business, like this example here,
yeah.
where in the description of it, it's like, oh, like the corner itself looks
Dude,
kind
if
of
I
shitty,
tried to do that,
but like he just pulls up with like a hot dog cart or like a cappuccino machine, plugs it in at the side, and just starts selling cappuccinos and sets up some chairs.
dude, if we did that, we get arrested.
Yeah, and that's the problem too.
Because no,
is
also for context, this is an older article.
it's very much
So like
older.
back then, people could set up a tent, start serving cappuccinos on their corner, and like create a mini cafe for people to gather.
Yeah,
and
or
nobody's-
out of their garage or something.
Exactly.
Or
But
front
nowadays,
yard.
if you do that,
You get fined.
yeah, you fucking
And
they make
that's-
it impossible for people.
And I
And
feel
you'll never
conflicted
get the-
even about that.
You'll never
'cause-
get the licensing for that too.
Well, and that's the problem. And that's where, okay, on one hand, it's probably good to have some sort of regulation around people selling food, for example, because you don't want them like having terrible handling of it and people are getting sick. So yeah, you do
But at the
want
same
some
time, too,
oversight.
that
But
if you're running the stand where people are pulling up to and they get sick, nobody's gonna fucking go.
yeah,
Like, you know, like if it's on the corner in the fucking neighborhood, that's this space that people gather, a communal gathering place.
yeah,
If people know you as the cart where people go to they get sick, it's
Yeah,
like
then
a
they won't
natural
wanna do that.
selection, you know, like
Yeah, but-
word of mouth spreads.
but then like, but you probably want some oversight though too.
And I think this brings into question like this whole idea of government oversight too. Like I
Yeah.
think we have this idea that like, oh, the government will do it and they'll do a good job and
Mm-hmm.
they'll have it. They know how to do it better than we do,
And you
which
know
isn't
what?
actually necessarily always the case. There's a
not
lot of
necessarily the case.
incompetence. You know, I think it's like what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a cop out. It's like, oh, we have this problem. Let's let the government handle it. When
Right.
really the government is just, you know, like they're not necessarily always so competent. I don't know where
No,
I'm going.
no,
I
they're-
don't even know the argument. I'm
Well,
just playing devil's advocate, I guess.
No, I hear
Because you know I believe in fucking.
I think
like-
that's the eternal struggle of the balance
But
between freedom and
because
then
we have
regulation
these health
and oversight,
inspections at restaurants, and that's like the government oversight.
which
you
is
know.
good. We
Yeah,
should
but
do that.
dude, I've seen some fucking non-existent health inspections. Like I told you at my last restaurant, the health inspector came in and I'm freaking out because I'm like, dude, we're fucked right now. Like, I don't want to get into detail, but there was like some things that I did not want him seeing. And he walked in there like in such a good mood and everyone's all chill and I'm like freaking out because I'm like, yo. And just for clarification, I was not running the operation at this restaurant. Because had I had been, there would have been nothing to be concerned about. But I wasn't, you know, it was kind of out of my control type thing.
Yeah.
But he just came in there, strolled in there. He's like, "Oh, can I see your dishwashing machine?" And he like tested the chemicals in the dishwasher. He's like, "Oh, you're good to go." And then he's like, "Can I see your like spray bottles?" He tested the chemicals in the spray bottles. He's like, "Oh yeah, you're good to go." And he left. And it was they must have been paying him.
Right.
Because I've been in other health inspections. Dude, they're there for like an hour. And they're going around asking people all these questions about all the different food and how you store it and how old is it, how old you keep it, is it cooled? Like they're looking in your coolers, like, you know? So this idea that, oh, we're going to hire this government agency to come in here and handle things, when I've seen it on certain, like when it's done properly, it's a good thing. But at other times, it's just like
kinda like
non-existent.
favoritism.
It's completely non-existent.
Like, yeah, maybe he just likes the owner. And he's like,
Well, he
you're
was
good."
definitely getting his pockets lined. Like, there's no way he wasn't. Yeah.
Maybe he's like, you can come here and eat for free.
And for
anytime
the
you
record,
want."
I actually no longer work at that restaurant anymore
Yeah,
for that exact reason.
that's respectable.
Yeah. Because, I don't know.
Got to have your integrity.
Yeah. I don't know. Integrity is
Um,
everything.
But yeah, that's why I think it's interesting though, because yeah, on one hand, this government over regulation is technically a good thing. People are, it's to prevent people from getting sick and, poor handling of food,
Give them vaccines forcibly.
forcibly with
Threaten their
gunpoint,
livelihood.
threaten their family.
Yeah. And their finances.
But it also, okay. And so here's actually a good example of a place that I think is a perfect example because I went to school near there, and it is not this one. There's a cafe that's in the middle of the kind of Fraser area neighborhood. It's called Le Marché Saint George. Have you been to that one?
I'm not.
Dude, it's a nice little spot.
Dude, we should go.
Dude, yeah, we should go there. Look, okay, so if you look here, it's right in the middle. So here's Fraser, and it's on St. George and 28th. So it's like in the middle of a residential neighborhood. So yeah, if you look at the Google Street View, it's literally in that house.
Oh, yeah.
And this is just residential everywhere
Yeah.
here. But when you go there, look how many people are hanging out there.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a gathering spot, kind of. People would go there and they would get a crepe and just sit there, have a coffee, have a crepe. And it was good crepes and coffee, good pastries.
No, that totally
and
makes
you just
sense.
sit there, hang out, walk your dog.
That's like, the cafe on Arbutus Street? Arbutus and like between 4th and Broadway, like 7th. There's a cafe.
Oh, yeah.
There's a couple throughout the city. There's one just like that. I forget what it's called. It's close to the hospital, Vancouver General Hospital, VGH. It's like maybe like 4 or 5 blocks away. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, like
Although that's quite in an industrial area, though. That's more of an industrial area that has
this
that
one's
old
on
house
the one
still.
I'm talking about is on a side street. Like it's nestled in a neighborhood.
Is it? Oh, you're not talking about the one on like...
I can't remember where it was. I was kind of just wandering around one day, and I just like, a cafe, and I popped in there, got a coffee. But I do think those are definitely valuable to have, especially in more suburban areas. That's
And
actually
that's the thing. I think, like-
Izetta. When I was
Exactly. That's
dude,
a good
it was
example because it's like a
complete-
hangout spot.
nestled in a suburban area with no other businesses nearby. And it's like a place people can go and chill where they don't have to go all the way to Dunderave or fucking Park Royal. They can just chill where they're at, kind of located by, it's like Cypress Park area, kind of like down from Cypress along the seawall area on Marine Drive. Everyone go check out Azetta Cafe Bistro. Delicious. Amazing food. But I feel like that's the perfect example of a third space because they have a shitload of patio space. People go there, hang out. It literally, dude, it's the definition of a third space.
Yeah.
Because it's like a communal gathering place. Like all the people who live in the neighborhood hang out there. They actually go there with all their supercars. So you'll go into the fucking, because it's like West Vancouver. You go into the parking lot, dude. It's like Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, Porsche. And it's kind of like a dick swinging competition for them. They all go there, like get cappuccinos and fucking chill with their cars and shit.
And I think that's part of it too, though, is you can, and in Oldenburg's article, Ray Oldenburg, that one that like I'm going to be referencing for the most part, he talks about how third places are places where you can meet other people with mutual interests potentially and kind of be like, oh, what's up, buddy? And you see them there often enough and you can form those kind of friendships. And another good point about the third spaces is that it's different than hanging out with a friend one-on-one or hosting people at your house or something like that because there's no obligation to be there. You show up when you want, you leave when you want, and there's
you
a
don't
different
have to clean
camaraderie.
up after other people.
Yeah, you don't have to clean up. You just show up, you enjoy people's company, and then you leave.
Okay, I have a question.
What's up?
You know those like BDSM sex dungeons? Like orgies people
Right,
have?
yeah.
Would that qualify as a third space? Like what's that one in East Van? I can't remember. Like people were going like Cat House or something like that. What was it called?
I don't think it's a third space because you can't bring kids there.
Oh, true.
Because that's kind of what he talks about in the article
it's like
too.
a
Is
community.
like,
Okay, so it's an adult third space.
yeah, I guess, but you have to. I don't know. I don't think.
I feel like it kind of meets the like it's people with similar interests. It's a communal gathering place. It's not at home. It's not a place of work.
I guess. I mean, I'm sure someone would agree. I'm sure someone would agree that it's a third space, but I feel like there's so much taboo around it that I think it would be difficult to casually enjoy it. But yeah, I think that's another thing about it too is like it's a big diversity of people in this place, and that's the point. Is like it's about the community around you. So if it is a coffee shop or a pub or a small general store, then you can just go there and it attracts everyone because it's something that everyone uses or consumes. Like everyone gets coffee, whether you're alternative or you're kind of, very like business oriented or you're super into sports or whatever. Maybe everyone at some point will cross paths there though. Or maybe if you have like your dogs and you take your dog for a walk, dog parks could be considered third spaces.
I feel like this is kind of, I feel like I'm having a bit of a eureka moment where I feel like a few of like the successful business models I've seen have been good examples of third spaces, you know, that really like fostered that. Like even Azeta, or the owner used to own this cafe years ago, where it was like a similar thing, a place for cyclists to come and gather and
Just hang out.
Yeah, similar interests.
And I think that's part of it too. Is I think it's like you could consider a dog park a third space technically, but I think an important component is that you can sit inside too, because otherwise then it's only when it's nice weather. But if it's a cafe, for example, you can still go there, especially if it has nice sofas and stuff. You go there when it's a rainy day still.
I think one of
And
the
you can
main
just sit
issues
there.
though,
And it's a low cost to entry though, versus a restaurant, for example, is, you know, you're probably spending $20 minimum. It's hard to justify going there every day. But if it's a cafe where, you know, there's a $3.50 coffee or whatever, and you can hang out there for 45 minutes and just sip a coffee, that's a low cost to entry, and you can do it every day almost without really thinking about it. Versus another place where, or even a club where it costs, you're probably going to be spending at least $30, $40, $50 maybe,
more like 100.
or $100.
Yeah.
You're not going to think, oh, let's go there and
All the
just
time.
hang out. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be like once in a while. And I think that's another defining feature of a third space.
I guess one thing about Vancouver, the city we live in, is I've heard people say like people don't mingle a lot, you know, like as compared to other cities like Toronto even.
Yeah.
Like you'll go out to these places, but it's like everyone stays in their crew.
Everyone's
in their
weird
clique.
about it.
Like it's, dude, if you go up to like a group that isn't your group and try to start a conversation with them in Vancouver, half the time people are like why are you talking to me? Like, unless like they're chill, you know, then you can like make friends. But it's kind of like people like to stay to their group, you know, like in
Yeah.
their clique,
Why do you
like
think
their
that
group
is?
of friends. I don't know. Vancouver's super cliquey.
Vancouver
No,
feels
but
super
I get
cliquey,
it too,
but-
because sometimes people come up to me and try to talk to me. I'm like, don't fucking know you, like.
yeah.
Like,
I feel
know
bad
you
about
know
it,
what
but
the thing is. I think about Vancouver is
too many crackheads.
not just crackheads, like
Sorry, meth heads.
not just that. It's like fucking is you gotta watch out for some people.
Dude, there's some crazy people
No,
here.
like the thing is, I feel like it's not like people didn't just become that way for no reason. Like I've
Exactly,
had
yeah.
instances where like you're too social or you're too friendly, and you have someone come around, you're like, oh, he seems chill, and they're like, yo, buddy is a complete psychopath.
Yeah.
Like maybe he's fucking like, who knows? Like, you know, gonna just steal from you or whatever, or try to fucking molest you or some shit. Like, no, for real. Like,
yeah, no, it's true.
like so.
Some
There's
fucking weirdos.
and there's a lot of nice people out there. I think people are just reserved. Like people are all about protecting their peace and protecting their energy. I think in Vancouver.
And I think it's also because up until more recently, it was a lower population density than a real big city.
Yeah.
So I think people still have that more suburban mindset.
Yeah.
And Oldenburg kind of talks about it a lot too, where, and then this is the second part of it that I kind of wanted to get into, which kind of talks about capitalism and the American dream, sort of, and the idea that everyone
Dude, this
can,
guy's a socialist, man.
the idea that everyone wants to own their own shiny piece of land, and
this
that
guy.
further divides everybody though.
Yo.
Because then you're so in the middle of nowhere, you have to get into a car, and then you have to drive to some big box store that's 20 minutes away from your big suburban house. And then it's not a sense of community anymore because you're not interacting with people who live around you.
Yeah, community's important. Yo, you remember
And
how?
just on the point, okay, sorry, just on the point that you were saying about how people are cliquey in Vancouver, one of the things I was thinking about when I was doing research for this was, like, what about all the weirdos that show up at the third spaces too? Like you're saying.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to be shaming.
Like I feel like
addicts
he's
here.
kind of looking at it like all like sunshine and butterflies, where it's like,
But I think this is also a problem, a modern problem too. I think it's all part of a modern problem.
like
And-
sometimes people go to the nightclub to socialize, and someone drops a fucking roofie in their drink.
yeah.
You know, it's not all like, oh, like let's socialize, a good time. Like,
But I mean, no one's gonna roofie your coffee.
dude, it's probably happened.
It's
before.
probably happened, but it's less likely someone's
I
gonna
think
roofie
I saw
your
a
coffee.
movie where that happened in a movie.
Okay, sure. Like, it's possible. But all I'm trying to say is just in agreement with that is I could imagine, especially in Vancouver, if there was a very low cost third space. I mean, fuck, even McDonald's you could consider a third space because
Dude, we should go to like McDonald's
should
to
start
like
posting up in
socialize
McDonald's.
and mingle.
with
Like-
all the homeless people.
Yeah.
But seriously
Dude,
though,
I could probably find a couple like MILFs or some like questionable MILFs.
questionable people I don't think you'd, and see that's the thing too. So then it's like, okay, socioeconomically, if you're in a McDonald's to socialize, who are you going to be running into? Like because there are a lot of crazy homeless people who are maybe drug addicts. No shame to these people,
They're
but just facts are
houseless.
facts. They're unhoused people.
Unhoused.
They're unhoused individuals who have sometimes severe drug problems, and if they're hanging out in a third space, it's going to make everyone a little uncomfortable, and they're probably not going to want to hang out there anymore if there's too many people who
Yeah.
are making others uncomfortable. Like even the other day there was a guy nodding off in the alley for like 10 hours, and the ambulance came, gave him a bottle of water, and left, and he's just in the alley. So
They left him there.
They just left him.
Yo, can it? This is the city's harm reduction approach. And yo, I was thinking about this the last couple days. Just because you call it harm reduction doesn't mean it's reducing harm. Like, I think this is like kind of the woke policies is they have these words like safe consumption sites and shit. There's nothing safe about that place. Like, have you seen videos from the inside of these sites?
Yeah, I mean it's a complicated issue.
Yeah, and this is like a topic for another thing. I'm starting to like pivot, but like, no, because like all the time I walk downtown and you'll see someone overdosing on fentanyl,
Yeah.
and it's like this isn't harm reduction. Like giving people fentanyl to smoke on the street and just leaving them there. There's nothing reducing harm about that at all.
It seems like the lesser of two evils.
It's really terrible. Anyways, that's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole
But
nother
no, because I've
subject,
just
yeah.
had that like, dude, it breaks my heart, dude. Like, and it's not like, dude, I don't like seeing that, but it's like these people need rehabilitation, they need help, they need like guidance and support, not just giving them drugs and letting them overdose on the sidewalk.
Well, and
ignoring
I
them.
think there's a big argument to be made too about when they cut funding for mental health things because I think it's once you've hit the full tailspin and your life's completely in shambles, it's very difficult to come back from that.
It is.
Like, I think these people needed help before they got to that point.
Yeah,
and that's the
Well,
problem.
You know what? That's a really good point. Is there needs to be more support for people.
Before,
Before it gets to that point.
yeah.
And there isn't at
Like,
all.
especially at-risk youth, I think they need more. Like,
Dude,
they're the ones.
So
who
you
need
know, with
support.
this safe supply thing, have you heard about how dealers are going to these safe supply places, getting all this shit, and selling it to teenagers? Because you just walk in there, they give you free fucking meth, free opiates, free dillies, free fucking fentanyl,
I think
heroin.
that sounds like a good hack.
Dude, people are doing it.
It's
People,
a good hack.
dude, people are making a lot of money. Dude, like,
It's fucked up.
it's
I
upsetting,
think
man.
is that
I
a
feel
third
like
space?
it's very.
I think that's a third space too.
It's very blind-sided, you know, or it's
Short-sighted?
Short-sighted, yeah. I don't know.
yeah. Okay, maybe we'll
Dude,
do
this
an
is getting
episode on
too
that.
heavy, man.
No, it's not getting heavy enough.
Yo, what I wanted to say
Okay.
earlier. No, let me get this thought out.
Okay.
I don't know. You're talking about. Oh yeah, you're talking about people needing like shiny, like new cars in their like suburban house.
Mm.
And you know how we were talking about fucking private jets. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah, diesel private jets.
Dude, I saw this video of Putin. He's flying in like his Russian version of Air Force One, and he looks out the window, and he's got
Air Force Two.
two fighter jets fucking on either side of his fucking plane escorting him. I'm like, that's what I want.
It's gangster.
I don't just want to be in a giant Boeing 737. I want to have fighter jets on either side.
Oh, well, fucking, why not have
Dude,
like,
I'm not
why
gonna
not
lie,
have
dude.
four? Have one in the front and one in the back.
Dude,
too.
it was super gangster. Seeing that, like, dude, like, it was super gangster.
Yeah,
Like, that's moving different.
that's moving different indeed.
Yeah, you're like, not many people are moving like that.
Probably has a satellite following over top of his plane.
Yeah, he's got a nuclear briefcase in there too.
Probably.
With like launch codes and shit. He's like, bro, dude, you got the nuclear codes right there. You got these fighter jets. He's like, dude, at any moment he's like, he can set shit off.
I flip flop. I'm like, sometimes I just think everyone should ride a bike, and then other times I would be down for something like that too.
But the thing is, I don't think you need to be either or, man. Like, say, like, I love biking and shit too. Dude, I don't own a fucking car. You know,
Yeah.
like, I'm like...
You're actually very environmentally conscious in that sense.
Not owning a car makes me want to, like...
Have
I feel like I have
plane.
some, like, debt I gotta pay off. You know? Like, carbon debt.
You
like,
need to make more pollution.
Yeah, I need to emit more carbon.
Yeah, come on, catch up, bro.
Yeah.
Get a diesel Ram 1500.
Okay, sorry, that was dumb.
Okay.
Third spaces.
Okay, right. So then there's another guy, David Harvey. He wrote an essay, "The Right to the City," and he said, "The creation of a surplus product is fundamental to the creation of the city. The profits that are extracted by powerful people are mobilized in the construction of urban environments." And then it's the Faustian dilemma. Capitalists are the ones extracting the surplus they need to continue to deploy their capital in order to make more capital. So basically, these super rich people, they make more money and they make more and more money, and they need to spend the money, and so they're just like building up the city is part of it. And I think we see this with big corporations that are pushing out the mom and pop shops too.
Yeah.
So instead of having a
The
local
Black
coffee
Rock,
shop,
the Black Rock,
you have
the
a
Vanguard.
Starbucks there,
Yeah.
and because it's a big company, they're not in touch with the community because it's some guy off, maybe even in another country, who doesn't give a fuck about the community. He just wants the numbers in his account to go up.
Yeah.
And the people who are running the shop themselves, the managers, they don't have emotional investment the same way as a real owner does. And not only that, they don't have the ability to pivot and do things that the community will like anyways, because it's a corporation. It's this franchise that needs to fall in line with all the other franchises. So it's just lacking soul of a real local place. So that's part of the capitalist aspect that I wanted to take on it. And then Harvey argues capitalist urbanization has been driven by the aims of capitalists to subsume their surplus product into new things that will bring even more surplus value. So yeah, like the BlackRock shit, where it's like, and then that's the thing about the local mom and pop shop too. They're not charging the absolute most they can most of the time. Usually it is a little cheaper than a Starbucks, where they're charging they've done the math where like we can charge this much, like the top dollar for the least value, and they try to balance that. Versus a mom and pop shop, they probably provide pretty good value for money. Yeah. Because they want people to keep coming. And sometimes these places used to be owned for generations, and they probably weren't maximizing profits, but it's also people loved it too because they knew they were getting a good deal when they were going there, and it was still enough for the mom and pop to be profitable,
break even
at least break even, if not be still enough profitable enough that where they can live a comfortable life. Yeah. And to find that balance of like the community feels like you really do care about the community, and there's a reason to go there every day, and you're still living comfortably. And now the rents are so high, all those restrictions, all the tape around the legislation of like rules and stuff like that is making it way harder and uneconomical. So even if you are a local mom and pop shop, you have to try to pretend to be some big brand and make some big thing out of it, because otherwise it's just not economically feasible.
They are getting like pushed out over time, like more big, like with,
especially after COVID.
You look at like the housing acquisition, like I was talking about BlackRock, like they're buying up so many private homes. What is it? Those blocks up on Oak Street where whole blocks are being torn down.
Yeah.
Dude, those are big mega corporations. They're buying out entire blocks so they can build these like units out there, because normal people just can't compete with that, you know?
Yeah.
But you know what I'm thinking? I was just thinking as you were talking. If you can't beat them, join them, man. Like, we should start a corporation.
Yeah, fuck
like
the
a big
corporate.
corporate. No, but you can in your lifetime start a corporation. Like the guy
Yeah.
who owned Joey's, Joey, like the big food company, he started that, or his, I think it was a family owned restaurant. They had one location, but he like franchised it and moved out and started this corporation. And he started as a dishwasher when he was 15, and now he's like 40, 50 and owns like 20 restaurants worth like hundreds of millions of dollars, you know? So that's kind of what you got to do, I think, at the same time.
I mean,
Like, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Well, I mean, that's definitely what I'm trying to get into. I am hating on the game.
That's so socialist of you.
No, but I think there is something to be said around capitalism.
This whole game sucks. If I can't win, nobody play.
That's not even it. That's not even it. But there is
No, I'm just fucking joshing you. I agree
there
with.
is a balance in it
Yeah,
all, though.
no, there's a balance. You need to have mom and pop small businesses.
Because and
The
that's
dude,
exactly the
it's-
problem with it. Because it's
Can I
post-capitalism.
say so? I feel
Okay.
like you've been cutting me off.
All right, sorry.
Okay. I know this is your topic, but I can't even remember what I was gonna fucking say now. Let me think.
Sorry,
Give me
bro.
a moment. Give me a moment. Okay, I fucking forgot.
Okay, I gotta piss. I gotta piss. Hold
You got
on.
piss? Okay. How far are we through?
We're 40 minutes in,
Okay. Welcome.
and we're back.
Yeah. Bienvenidos.
Bienvenidos.
Do
Okay,
you have
so
any other
I
points you
have
want?
a few more points.
Okay.
I did an extensive amount of research for this episode.
Yes.
Maybe that's not coming across in what I'm saying, but okay. So the next point that I wrote here is, I think, okay, I'm just trying to get my notes here. So Robert Moses was an American urban planner.
Yeah.
Debt financing, significant source of financing for urban renewal projects, is the pathway for the absorption of surplus capitalist product, the means through which working and middle class populations will be de-radicalized. You could get one of the new shiny houses for yourself that came with the new urban renewal project. You just needed a loan. So it's a debt financed house. So basically, if you were like a poor person in a very urban neighborhood, you would have these third spaces to gather and be like, you know what, isn't it fucked up how we're living? And they could start trying to form like unions. They could start gathering and start political movements to kind of shake things up. And so I don't think I'd even call it conspiratorial, but basically part of the idea with this is like, hey, let's just give these stupid poor people a shiny new house. They'll get it with debt, so they'll be forever working, basically. They'll be like slaves pretty much to us. We'll give them the money. They'll have their house. They'll shut up. They won't have their community spaces anymore to meet because they'll all be segregated into their own big houses, and they'll be happy enough that we can still maintain control over them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I found very
Give
interesting.
them bread and circus or whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like bread and circuses, and use debt to finance it, so that way they're like enslaved to you basically anyways.
Just gotta start selling drugs.
Yeah.
Escape the matrix.
Escape the matrix, sell meth.
Yeah.
So then that's part of it. And then after people are de-radicalized because they have enough now, they have their shiny house, people will be less interested in working
They become
with
docile.
the other poor people in the cafe and more about market stability, and they'd care more about market stability and property values. And so the suburbs are the places particularly lacking in third spaces, which is where these urban renewal projects are happening for the most part, and people are all flocking out of the city to go there anyways, and just live their lives, not think about anything too much. And the urban renewal projects further separate people into different class positions, whereas before in a third space, people are gathering from different socioeconomic classes and they have a chance to mingle. And commodity is a spectacle that the bourgeois could assert their hegemony in politics as well as in the economy at the same time as they claimed privileged access to control over the public spaces of their city. So basically, the rich people who own these properties in the city can develop them in a way so people can't hang out there anymore.
It should be illegal to be rich.
I mean,
Like, I think all rich people are inherently terrible, and they deserve to die.
hey, you said it, not me.
Like slow and painful death.
You said it, not me, buddy.
Yeah.
And then there's other, small interesting examples, like the gossip helps keep the neighborhood safe. So that one old lady who fucking sits on her porch or sits somewhere and she's always looking at everything everyone's doing, as annoying as she is, she's also kind of keeping the neighborhood safe. Because then if any weird shit's happening, she probably saw it. She's like, yo, did you see what fucking happened?
I think one thing to take into consideration, when was this article written?
I think in the 80s or 90s.
So that's like 40 years ago.
Yeah. A lot of it's happened since
Yeah,
then.
so I feel like while this article raises good points, I feel like it is kind of outdated.
In what sense?
In the sense that it was written 40 years ago. And that, like, I feel like
what do you think is
the
different
way
today?
communities gather and like we organize society, I feel like it's changed so much in that time. Where like the old lady sitting on the sidewalk probably has Alzheimer's now, and maybe you shouldn't listen to what she has to say. Or maybe she's crazy and she's making up stories about people. Like,
Yeah,
these
yeah.
are things to,
Yeah, probably,
I know a couple old ladies sitting on the corner who are yelling and swearing at people.
yeah.
Like,
but
what the
listen to
fuck?
those
You
ones.
get away from my property. You're not allowed. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
don't listen to those old ladies.
So I don't know. Like, I think back then, man, things were a lot more innocent.
Well, it's also pre-internet.
Pre-internet.
So I think that's the big
A lot
difference.
of pharmaceutical drugs.
People were doing drugs, though. They were doing a hell of
I
drugs.
guess in the 80s,
Cocaine,
yeah, I guess in the
LSD.
80s. But that's not as bad as like the pharmaceutical drugs even.
People were doing heroin.
Yeah, but even heroin's not as bad as fucking some of the like prescription drugs people are taking. I think they're really.
They were doing some pretty bad drugs
dude,
then,
the
too.
thing is, man, it kind of breaks my heart. Because I think like sometimes you and me are like friends of like, we'll like have really engaging conversations and
Yeah.
really like, but dude, some people are on a lot of medication and they're zombies.
It's true.
Like, and I feel like sometimes I can be like naive to that because I don't take medication and I don't think you do.
No.
Yeah. So like some people just aren't there. Like they're literally on autopilot, and you see that
I
sometimes.
think community is even more important for people like that, though. They need people looking out for them.
They do. But
And they need
it's
a- they
also,
need a place
I
to
think
feel belonging.
more the point I was trying to make is a lot of variables have changed in that 40 years.
Right.
Where it might not seem obvious, but I think actually it is very different.
Yeah, and people are more wary of like diddlers and rapists and
Like
stuff
back
like that.
in what, like, I think there
Pre-Me
I don't know why it is, but there's a lot more mental illness nowadays, and there's a lot more crime nowadays.
Well, also, how much of it is just we hear about more? of
Well,
it?
that's one thing about
and
too.
how
But
many
I do
people
think
are more just self-aware
no,
about
because
mental
I do
illness?
think like even when I was a kid living in Kitsilano, I would ride my bike around all the time. When I was like 12, I never locked up my bike. Like I would just leave it outside of like the pizza place or the
pretty ballsy
Safeway.
of you.
Dude, I never got my bike stolen.
I would have stolen your bike.
I know, but now,
I'm just kidding.
dude, now you wouldn't last. You do that one time, your bike's gone.
Yeah.
So like culturally things have shifted, and they continue to shift.
Yeah.
So.
But
think
that's
it-
also part of the socioeconomic divergence where
One of my favorite third spaces is a fucking rave. So that's a third space. Dude, everyone's fucking high as fuck on drugs because people are like they lowered their inhibitions in a way.
I don't think that's the third space.
It is. It's a club. A rave is a club. It's a techno
Is it close
club.
to your home though?
Yeah, I live close to downtown. Or if you live downtown, it counts.
Yeah, I guess yeah.
That's a great third space, man, because everyone's like super friendly, all loving, fucking. Yo, I love the way you dance, man. You're such a good dancer, bro.
But
How
the
you
problem
get
is
so
you're not
good
there often,
at- Hey,
or you shouldn't be.
yeah, you shouldn't be, man. Honestly, yeah, that gets a little bit cooked.
It gets cooked. Yeah.
Okay, what
Okay,
else do you
I just
want to
have-
cover on this?
Okay, I have just a couple more
Oh
points.
my god, dude, this is fucking killing me right now, Thorun.
So here's a few more points.
Myself in the fucking
People might be
face.
better educated on political matters if they had a place to discuss and debate ideas with people who have different opinions than them. And
Bro,
yeah,
that's
like we were saying earlier, the online space has largely taken over these kinds of things. Like you'll be on X, and that's where you'll have your political discussions.
I'm kind of glad,
but it
though.
lacks the human component,
Dude,
where you won't tell someone to their face,
Can you imagine
that,
how much it
shut
would
the fuck up, you're wrong, you're a piece of fucking shit for having your opinion, you racist Nazi pig.
Exactly, but can you
But
imagine?
would you say that to someone's face? Probably not, because they might punch you.
Can you imagine how terrible it would be if you tried to go to a coffee shop and people were having those types of discussions?
I would love that.
I would hate it so
I would
much.
love that.
Dude, whenever I'm at a party, yeah, you would love that. Or no, who was it? Remember when you had the gathering here and Cal ended up talking with your uncle and they got
for
into
like
the
an
whole
hour,
socialism debate? Dude, I hate that shit so much. When
I
I'm at a
love that.
party, I was at a gathering a few weeks ago and one buddy got into a debate, socialism, political debate with this older lady there. And she was like hella lefty. He was more like conservative, which is funny because he's Latino. And he immigrated here, and he's talking about how like immigration is getting a lot of out of control. Oh,
No, did he?
No, it's, there we go. Sorry, I gotta label the soundboard. Okay. What was he
But
saying?
you don't like those political debates.
I guess you have to be. I don't know. It's kind of exhausting, man. I feel
Well,
like
okay,
you don't
but
get
see,
any
that's
closer
the good
to
thing
it.
about a third space is like you could just walk away and no one would care if you left the conversation. Versus if you're hanging out with a friend and you're having that debate, you can't just be like, "All right, bro, I think I gotta go home. I'm going." Because it'd be kind of weird. But if
Did
you're
I
just-
hung?
if
Did my
you're just at a
brother?
party or some third space, you'd be like, "All right, I'm gonna like walk over there and like talk to these people."
Okay.
Then it's not weird the same way.
Okay. I see.
What were you gonna say?
I don't know. You keep cutting me off.
I'm sorry, bro.
I can't fucking. What do you want to say?
All right,
Say
so so on neutral ground, people avoid the obligations of both guests and host, and simply enjoy the company of other people. They come and go without
This shit's
making
fucking
arrangements or
gay.
excuses. They may leave the very moment it suits them to do so, and it is a very easy form of human association.
Put some respect on my name.
This is why.
It's important for older retired people too. And
What
that's,
about retarded people?
they can come there too
Okay.
with
What
with a
about
companion or like some sort of guardian.
but not retired retarded people? They're not welcome.
That's a more difficult one. Yeah, I don't know if they should be allowed.
I'm sorry.
And also, when friends meet in numbers as opposed to one-on-one, there is a festive spirit and laughter is frequent. There is an atmosphere of acceptance and belonging that no single friend, no matter how close, can provide. Which is also true. And
Third
that's the
spaces is where you get
extent-
the bitches.
Yeah, actually, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we gotta be grateful for third spaces, because where else would you wheel shorties?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's
And contract STDs and spread them.
exactly. But yeah, I just think it's an interesting topic. I think in the modern day and age, we have replaced hanging out in spaces with hanging out online, and then that's pretty lame, realistically.
No,
Like,
you know what? I do agree with that, and I think it's an interesting perspective. Like before this conversation, I didn't even think that Instagram or social media has become the modern day third space, you know? And how it's funny because in a way, like it connects people more, but also in a way it doesn't, which is strange.
because it's kind of like you get blue balls. Like you feel like you get a part of socialization, but not really.
Yeah, not
Like,
the important parts.
not the
of it.
important part where
Yeah.
you're like looking at the person and you're really there with them and you're talking with them. And in a lot of the time, people are just posting their highlight reels anyways. Like, oh, I did this and it was fun. And then you're like, oh, what did my friend so-and-so do? And you look like, oh, that's cool. And you're like, oh, I wonder how they're doing. And then that's kind of the extent of it. Versus versus like you actually go do something with your buddy. Like, oh, let's go to the beach or fucking let's go for a bike ride or let's grab a coffee and, you know, catch up, chop it up.
Vancouver needs more third spaces, I think is the...
You know what's interesting though is I think we probably have more than the suburbs though.
Dude, we have more than a lot of cities too. That's why people move here.
Yeah,
like, dude, if you
about
lived,
it, it's actually kind of okay. It's
dude,
just people
if you
standoffish.
live, that's the thing that sucks about living in small towns is they don't have that.
Yeah, except maybe one pub, and then all the weirdos hang out there. But yeah,
you know, you want to know how I know this article was written a long time ago?
How do you know?
Because he was saying saloons and shit.
Oh, I mean, he was referring to like old world shit.
I know, but he's talking about. Yeah, there we go. He's talking about saloons.
That's not
and
the one
shit.
I wanted.
No Diddy.
There you go. I know we need to label it.
Right.
Ain't no Diddy.
Yeah. We're figuring it out.
Yeah.
The sound.
Okay, when he said saloons, he was just referring to, I think, like that used to be even more central to the community because
they play music and stuff. And
yeah, or like the
shows.
general store or some shit. Which, but and so I'm not bringing this up, and I didn't think it was. I'm not talking about it because I'm like, oh, we need to like. There's some solution to it necessarily, but it's interesting to consider how we've shifted into a more and more modernized world, and some of these fundamental human things seem to be disappearing, and we are social creatures. Biologically, we've evolved to be social creatures and need community, and even an introverted person needs some social interactions to stay normal and feel a sense of groundedness in this reality, because that's just the biology of being a human. It's a social Homo sapien primate creature, you know? So with that in mind, I think that's why it's interesting, because we have replaced it with social media for the large part of it. And we do feel
virtual
danger
reality.
everywhere. Virtual reality.
What's that
yeah.
one? The game people play. VR something. VR chat. I don't know what it is.
Something lame.
Yeah.
But that's why I appreciate, like, I hang out with people fairly often, and there is a sense of camaraderie and community, and we do hang out at places often. And so I think I'm not lacking in a sense of community, but it's interesting to consider how many people probably are lacking in that.
Dude, I went and played pool with Nero the other night.
At the Legion? Like Heroes Welcome?
Sneaky Pete's.
Oh, yeah, Sneakies, yeah.
Dude, it was nice. It was after we went to the studio.
Sneakies feels like a third space.
It was.
Like, people come there to hang out.
Dude, it was
Play some
great.
pool.
Dude, you said you've been getting into pool lately, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Dude, we should play pool.
Yeah, I'm down.
Because, dude, that was the first time I played pool, no joke, since Nam. Like, back in Vietnam, I was playing pool. But, like, bro, I think I'm actually kind of good at pool. Like, I almost beat Nero both games. He ended up winning.
Nero sucks, though.
Does he suck?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. I don't know. He was like, damn, bro, what the fuck? Like,
No,
I don't know.
I'm just kidding,
You
I'm
know
just
what?
kidding.
You get like 3 or 4 in a row,
Yeah.
and you start to feel like sniper.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had that happen a couple times where I'm like, bam, bam, bam.
It's fun.
And I was like, yo, I'm kind of good at this, dude, because I feel like you just kind of need to have motor skills
Yeah.
and like an understanding of
I
physics.
mean, you spend a lot of time working with your hands, so it makes
yeah,
sense that you do
to
get at it.
fucking jack off all the time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I feel like that's related to
Oh, whoops.
No Diddy.
yeah, there we go. Yeah, we need to work on the fucking soundboard. Yo, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I work with my hands often.
Ain't no Diddy.
No Diddy. There we go. Yo, I need to take a piss now.
Now you
actually.
need to take a
I
piss?
should have gone earlier.
All
My
right.
apologies to the listeners. Urination complete.
Urination complete.
Okay.
Urination complete.
No Diddy.
All right, you know what? I thought the soundboard was going to be stupid, but I'm kind of digging it. I'm not
It
going to
is
lie.
stupid, but it's funny, man. Like, okay, we need right now we don't have it labeled, so sorry we're pressing the wrong buttons. But we're gonna fucking put masking tape on it so we know.
Call me asparagus.
Yeah, so we know what we're hitting. And I feel like it can like add that emphasis to a statement.
Yeah. So then you know we're fully autistic.
Yeah.
artistic. I mean,
Yeah.
artistic.
Yeah.
冰淇淋，我很喜欢冰淇淋，但是速度与激情就比冰淇淋。
All right. Anyways, okay.
Third spaces.
Third spaces. I think
Not heterosexual.
no.
No.
But yeah, I think that was the exhaustive points that I had on the topic. I think
that's good.
it's an interesting thought
Yeah.
to think about, especially through the lens of the internet and people being connected through the
Social media.
But it's
yeah.
like blue balls
Yeah.
socializing, for where you get some of the benefits of a social interaction, but you never get to have completion. You know,
Yeah.
you're not busting a nut. You're just kind of getting teased with a social interaction, but you don't really have it.
Yeah. Where the third space, you can bust a nut there.
You're busting social nuts all over the place. Oh,
No daddy.
What was but at the same time, if you go to a cafe or restaurant and you do start busting nuts, you might have a problem.
yeah. Don't really bust a nut.
Yeah.
at a
Unless it's
restaurant.
like in your jeans. Maybe if
maybe
you're like
maybe if it's
dancing
at the
with a
cat
girl.
house.
Yeah, if you're at the cat
If you're
house.
at the cat house, you can bust
Or
many
to
nuts.
be honest, if you're dancing with a girl at the club and you bust in your pants, like nobody's gonna know.
It's a no. It'd be a little embarrassing though.
It would be embarrassing, but hey, we've all
No one
been
would
there.
know, though.
We've all been there. You know what? I've actually never had it happen at the
Yeah,
club,
I'm like,
but I have had it happen in other times. Dude, it's been a while, but I have busted in my jeans before, and it sucks.
that's that sucks.
You've had it happen.
Not in my jeans.
Not like never like you were with a chick and you like
We're grinding and then it
maybe you're
happens.
like making out and you've never had it happen in your life.
Nah, bro.
It's called premature ejaculation.
Like a full on bust.
Yeah.
Like you just fully
Maybe
you fully bust.
No diddy.
yeah, I did.
No, bro.
I may
I've
have-
shit my pants.
while you were with a chick.
No, not with the chick.
It's like on top of you, straddling.
No diddy.
Shit yourself. Okay, there we go. Do I need to laugh?
Yeah, that got kind of serious.
I
there.
need to fucking
especially when we
laugh.
started talking about capitalism. I feel like it got
Dude,
pretty
I
heavy.
wanted to fucking shoot myself, bro. I hate that shit so much. No, because you start to speak in the language of the socialists. Where, hey, yo, I don't hate socialists, but they have this way of talking.
Sounds like you hate socialists.
They have this way of talking where they use all these like words and phrases and like
Okay, but
it's the language of the intellectual
yeah,
class.
but you just gotta read a couple articles and then you know what it means.
I know what all of it means, but I hate it so much. Like whenever I hear someone say bourgeoisie, I'm like, okay. Like I immediately write them off.
Yeah, but you know what they mean. Okay, but it's true though.
You know what?
It's
I just
true.
don't like the word because it's
Okay, well, what do you like? Bougie better? You like bougie better?
yeah.
Spoken like a true poor person.
Yes.
You know what? That's the ironic.
Hey,
part.
I'm the working class, bro. I'm the salt of the earth.
Bro, I'm working class.
No, I'm fucking working
No,
class.
I'm working class.
No, I'm in trades. My trade is more trade than your trade.
Call me asparagus.
So you can kind of mix them.
Yeah, I kind of like that you can play two at once. That's fun.
It's fun.
Um.
Okay, so other topic.
Okay, so.
Fuck third spaces.
Yeah, only spend time on the internet. Any social interactions sucks, especially if it's with your neighbors. And
I fucking hate my neighbors.
yeah, me too. Fuck
No,
my
I'm joking.
neighbors.
I actually like my neighbors. a
Yeah, I'm
lot
kidding
right
too. My neighbors are nice people.
now. They just overhear that.
They're like walking in the
"Yo, what
hallway. They're
the
like,
fuck?
I can't believe.
What
They're like,
did I do?
They're like, I knew it.
They're like, yo, I didn't do anything.
I always thought that guy was a fucking asshole.
Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, topic.
No, it is funny though because I don't feel like I'm very engaged with my community at all.
You're just projecting.
I'm totally projecting.
Dude, that's so socialist of you.
I
Is to
walk-
be like, hey, we don't have enough third spaces. We need more community. It's like, dude, you don't go outside.
No, I go outside, but I drive to other neighborhoods. I just When I walk out of my door, I put my hood up. I pull my cat.
You should
low.
drive to other neighborhoods, man. Fuck living in a 15-minute city.
I pull my hat low in my face. I wear a hoodie and I walk really quickly and I wait to hear if there's anyone in the hallway, and I look out the people, and when it's empty, I exit and I run to my car and then I drive away.
Dude,
To ensure I never run into any of my neighbors.
We become like I feel like social interaction sometimes can become so foreign, like with strangers, you know? Like, because I feel like we're so disconnected with the social media thing. Like, dude, yesterday, I fumbled so hard. I was walking down the street, and I think I was, like, listening through to our last episode for, like, edits. I was going to get Donair, and I'm, like, walking down the street. And this beautiful fucking Asian chick is walking by, and she's, like, looking at me, but she, like, smiled. But, like, a really, like...
with teeth.
Like, it wasn't like a like little like half smile, like it was a really big smile, and she was like really looking at me, like she almost wanted to like say hi or something. And I fumbled so hard, I was like shook because I'm like, what?
Like,
the...
why is she
I like
looking at me?
panicked because I look up and I'm like, oh, hot chick.
No diddy.
Dude, that's not appropriate. But I see this hot chick. Shout out to beautiful lady on 4th Avenue by the Donair place that smiled at me. If you hear this, hit me up. But I fumbled so hard, bro. She like looked like she wanted to say hello, and I just kind of like did a half smile and look away because I don't know how to smile really. Like in pictures,
you were deep in thought. You were listening to the podcast.
dude, I
That's
was shook.
understandable.
And as soon as I'm like, bro, I just fumbled so hard, bro, because I just kept walking. And I kind of like looked back. I think she kind of looked back, but she looked away. I was like, damn, bro.
You should have.
I fumbled so hard.
You should have kept walking, and then like half a minute later started running back, and then grabbed her by the shoulder and be like, "Hey,
what's your phone number?"
Yeah.
Dude, I haven't fumbled that hard. Like, I don't know. She really like looked at me and like a big smile, like she was almost like about to like introduce
hear you.
herself to me, and I
Well,
just kept walking.
should have said what's up."
I know, I'm such a fucking loser.
I mean, and you know what? I feel like as a person, I have no fear of any social interactions. I have no problem, just like talking to anyone on the street.
I'm
like,
working
"Hey,
on it.
What's up?
I'm working on
Oh, like blah blah blah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, social situations can be uncomfortable. Like, obviously,
I think
not a
I'm naturally a
sociopath,
little
but-
bit antisocial. Is that what sociopath is?
No.
What's a sociopath?
Sociopath means you have no regard for other humans and you can't relate to them, and you're like kind of Machiavellian. You view others as like a means to an end, and you don't have any real connection with them. You're definitely not a sociopath.
No.
I think you're quite an empathetic person, actually.
Yeah. But you know what? It is fucked up. I feel like I can almost take on a sociopath thing with like people I don't know.
I think that's kind of normal
No,
growing up
because
in
it's
the city, though.
like especially in a city, like you can't
can't-
give a shit
yeah.
about everyone.
Dude, you can. No.
Like I care. Like, yeah, I think I'm an empath too with like the people in my life and my circle. Like I care a fuckload about them.
Yeah.
But then like outside of that, it's like,
I see a guy nodding off in the alley, and I'll just step over him.
no, dude, that
I'm
no,
just
no.
kidding.
Dude,
I'd check to make sure he's not dead.
do you?
Well, when the guy was in the
Have
alley,
you ever? Oh, you did.
when the guy was in the alley, I went up to him, and I'm just like, well, he's still standing. He's just doing one of those like, he's hanging there, kind of like swaying back and forth. So I'm like, all right. I mean, he's alive. He's not.
No, I feel
lying
bad
there.
because sometimes I'll be going to work and I see someone like nodding out. I'm like, dude, I don't even know if this guy's alive. But I'm like,
I'm gonna be late for work.
No, is I think if I had to stop for every person I saw like that downtown, I would never get from A to B.
Seriously.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like
Yeah.
I would never get anywhere because you see it every fucking 3 minutes, 2 minutes, every block.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like I've almost certainly walked past dead people on the street.
Probably.
And it makes me so sad, but it's like, it's like it's everywhere.
Especially in Vancouver, it seems to be even worse than other cities.
Yeah. Well, it's getting really bad. I think in a lot of like Seattle is like this too. Dude,
Globally, it's getting worse.
it's getting worse, man. I don't know what it is. Something
I think
like
there is
did you hear-
less a sense
Yo,
of community.
Not just that, dude. Our justice system is super fucked right now. I don't know if you heard there was an instance of in Canada, this bodega worker was assaulted by like a fentanyl addict, and he defended himself or something like that, and he's facing like more jail time than the fentanyl addict is for attacking him with like a needle.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it's super backwards there right now, and I think it's actually all by design. No, for real though. Like, so
冰淇淋，我很喜
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
like
See, this is why it's not a good idea.
in Soviet Russia during communism, what they
Yeah.
did is they totally flipped everything. So they released all the rapists and murderers from prison, all the criminals, because they said it wasn't their fault that they committed these crimes. It was really the problem of the bourgeoisie, and it was their fault for not giving these people a proper opportunity in life that they could. If it was up to them, they would have never ended up as murderers and rapists.
Where's
but
the-
no,
where's
but
the
that's what's
gray
happening.
area there?
No, but that's what's happening in Canada. Is, you know, these people are going around stabbing people randomly in Chinatown, and they're just getting released because they're like, oh, it's not their fault. They're a victim. They're a victim of whatever abuse.
Where's the gray area in all of it is what and I don't have any answers for this, of course, but I wonder, and this is why these conversations are so complicated, because I think on one hand, people who are doing violent offenses like that, throw them in fucking jail where they belong, because we need to keep them away from normal society. Because how is anyone going to feel safe in their neighborhood to take a stroll with their kid and socialize with someone at the dog park if they have to worry about some guy with a needle nodding out in the park attacking him with his kid?
Did you hear they made a law in Vancouver like a few months ago saying that like people were like allowed to consume drugs on like playgrounds and like near schools and shit?
Is that real?
Yeah, they were saying it was like discriminating against them because they didn't have other places to do it. So like it was, yeah, it's crazy,
That sounds ridiculous.
bro. It's so backwards. It's not even, and it's so insane. I don't think it's like. I think there's malicious intent behind it. At a certain, maybe not at the lower levels, but once you get high enough up, I think there is actually a really big conspiracy there. And like, I'm 100% serious. Like
Dude,
with
we should
like
do
with
an episode on a giant conspiracy.
yeah,
We should have the cork board for this one.
we should. But at the same time, it's fucking too. I don't know. It's too serious to bring me down.
Hey,
I don't like
think
to be too serious.
we can be serious and we can have
Yeah,
fun as well.
jokingly serious.
Because I think, you know, if we are going to be putting this out there, it is good on our platform to show that people can have a duality to them. Maybe like we're not just boring fucking nerds talking about politics. We also like to talk about reptilian pussy and Bigfoot.
But we can also have serious conversations.
Yeah, we can also have serious conversations as
Dude,
well.
that's the duality of man.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's true. Because I feel like male socialization is like we can have extremely serious and meaningful and like philosophical conversations, like spiritual, like really deep, meaningful conversations, and then also talk about reptilian pussy for an hour.
Yeah.
And both are just, it's like the yin and yang of the persona, you know?
I think it's important to have both. I think if you do too much of one, either you start being too serious and you're kind of a drag to be around. And then if you do too much of the other one, then
You kind of come off as an idiot.
yeah, you're just like unaware of what's happening in the world and the
You
greater
don't take
happenings.
things, you never take things seriously.
I think there's a balance in it all.
To know when to be serious and when to have a joke around, you know?
Yeah.
For the record, this is out of nowhere, but I would like the listeners to know that I took ivermectin before this podcast.
Yeah.
Feeling a little bit sick. And I have ivermectin, which is fucking dope. I feel like that's
You
such
got
a
it
flex.
off the black market.
No, I got it off the legitimate market in Mexico.
Mm.
Because in Mexico, you can just buy it at a corner store. You don't need a prescription.
Mexico is wild. They have drugstores on like every street corner, and you can buy like anabolic steroids.
Yeah. Well, it's like that in a lot of other countries, though.
Wild.
Honestly, dude.
I was surprised how
dude,
few people were on steroids,
it's
considering
yo. This is
how much they sell.
Can I
them.
segue for a second?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's wild how, as a guy, you could go to the doctor and say you want to get a sex change, and they'll give you estrogen. But if you say you want to get more muscle and be stronger, they won't, like, it'll be a lot harder to get testosterone. Like, there seems to be an agenda, like, they're willing to allow men to feminize themselves, but if you want to become more masculine, you're going to have to go to the black market to do that. That's not approved. And bro,
Go on.
I think there's something there, man. Like, I actually don't really want to take steroids, but I don't think they should be illegal.
I think them being illegal is silly. I agree. But
Like,
at the same time, I can
why?
see...
Because it's performance enhancing. Like, there's lots of other drugs and medications that people take that have side effects. And I'm not saying they don't have negative side effects, because they 100% do. But I
Yeah.
think if they're done in a controlled way, they can improve people's quality of life, you know?
Steroids?
Sometimes, yeah. Like, dude, you're jacked as fuck. Like, you start
Yeah.
getting hella bitches. Like, I don't know. It's like,
Honestly, if anything, I think when you do steroids, you impress guys more than you
you
impress
do.
women. And,
No, girls like it too, though.
I mean, some girls like it.
As long as your dick still works, they like it.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's the only, like,
I think
make or break.
they'd rather a guy who's super yoked naturally,
Naturally,
though.
yeah.
Because your body
But a lot of girls,
starts
dude,
looking disproportionate.
it's funny because a lot of girls have no idea between natural and unnatural. Because you'll see in these videos of guys who are obviously on steroids, and the girls think that he's natural. They think he's just super jacked. Like, I think they have this, like, big disconnect. Whereas a guy, you can tell, you're like, this guy is on, or at least TRT or something.
Yeah.
Where, like, girls are like, oh no, this guy's just jacked as fuck. They don't actually, they think, like, think about when you were a kid and you would see these super muscular people. You didn't know they were on steroids. You're like, dude, this guy's just a beast.
Fucking massive.
And I think that's what girls think. They're like, oh, I don't want a guy with steroids.
Oh, daddy.
Oh, that's too late. They're like, I don't want a guy with, they're like, oh, no, I don't like guys with steroids. But then they see a guy on steroids and they just think he's some fucking massive guy.
Yeah, that's true.
And they
I mean, it
don't
doesn't
put
hurt.
2 and 2
It
together.
doesn't hurt.
I don't know.
All right, you know what? You convinced me. Let's do steroids.
I've thought about
Okay,
it.
we should have a podcast episode where we take steroids for the first time.
That'd be sick.
We'll do smelling salts. We'll
And
do a cycle. Go to the gym. We'll continue the podcast at the gym. Like that one, maybe we can do a video podcast. We'll be at the gym on steroids. We'll do before and after.
Yo, I actually don't want to do steroids. Like, at all.
Wow.
Like, because, like,
What a disappointment. I thought we were going to do steroids on the podcast.
I don't want to do steroids. But I think they should be legal.
So, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight?
He copy my whole fucking flow. Put some respect on my name.
There we go. I think we'll need to turn down the volume on that, actually.
Yeah, we'll edit it.
We'll do that later.
Yeah.
But, okay, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. I think it's probably mostly scripted. Okay, I think I said this to someone the other day. I feel like it's a lose-lose for Jake Paul.
Go on.
Because if he wins, like, say he knocks out Mike Tyson, that's a lose. Like, at his, like, if he
Yeah,
knocked
no
out,
one's going to be like, oh, you're so tough for knocking out this 60-year-old.
yeah, because he already has CTE.
Dude, he's like walking with a cane.
I know. So if you were to knock him out, like, say if he knocked him out when Mike Tyson is in his prime, that's completely fucking different.
It's cool.
But this is like a senior.
Yeah.
He's what, 60? He already has some CTE. Like, you can tell by how he slurs his words and shit.
Yeah, he's fucked.
And when you have CTE, you're more sensitive to impacts and shit.
If Mike Tyson dies because of this, I'd be pissed.
Dude, Jake Paul would probably get fucking killed, bro.
I hope so.
Yeah. And no, and if he loses, so that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's a lose-lose for him. Unless I think they might have some rules that are like no hard headshot, like no knockout punches or something like that.
I
Like,
think there is something
or
like
more,
that.
maybe more body shots. It'll be more of like a body shot fight.
Yeah.
Then sure, it's entertainment. And then sure, then it's a win for Jake Paul.
Yeah.
I'll say, like, you know, if he just goes up there, gets some like promo, people watch the fight, he gets paid. You know, at the end, I'm not taking it as a super serious fight. I think it's
Definitely not. This is exactly the bread and circuses.
Yeah,
This
but
is bread and
I
circuses.
think my money's on Mike Tyson. Like,
Really?
sure. Jake, he's younger. He's got youth at his side, but Mike Tyson is fucking Mike Tyson, dude. Like, he had a pet tiger and shit. Like, that he chilled with. Like, Jake Paul wouldn't. He does. I don't know. They're just cut from a different cloth, I think. Like, there's one photo on the internet which shows Mike Tyson at 18 and it shows Jake Paul at 18. There's just no comparison at all.
Yeah, but he's 60. Father Time.
Have you seen him hitting the pads?
Yeah, he looks
Dude,
pretty
that's
good.
still Mike Tyson, bro.
He looks pretty good.
Dude, he looks like a fucking machine, like a warrior.
Yeah, he does, but who knows what happens when he gets rocked a few times? Like how maybe he has a glass chin now.
He's probably more chinny, than Jake. It's possible Jake could win. I'll say, like, I think Mike will probably win, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna watch it, but I think it's bullshit.
When is it? It's coming up soon, right?
I think it's like in a few months.
No, I think it's this month. It's in April.
Is it?
Yeah. Here, Google it. When is Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight? Damn, we're out of tea.
Wow, the first episode.
We could
finished
smoke
with-
DMT on the pod. That would be sick.
Dude, I don't know. I'd be too fucked up.
Or salvia.
This fight's scheduled for July 20th.
Oh, damn. That's still a ways away.
Yeah. And then I also had I threw out that beer fridge.
Oh, yeah. Fuck that beer fridge.
Dude,
Or no, it was
fuck
cool.
that beer fridge.
It was cool. So we had this beer fridge that... No, it was a wine fridge.
Oh, yeah. It was a wine fridge.
It was actually a nice fridge when it worked.
It was a nice fridge, but then after the move, I think one of the fucking movers dropped it or something.
Fucked it. I used to keep my weed in there.
Yeah, it was good. It was
Which
like
is sick.
humidity controlled.
For anyone listening who this concerns, if you have some high quality weed in large quantities, the temperature in which you store it is actually quite important because the terpenes, the flavor profiles, the limonene and pinene or whatever, all that shit, it degrades at certain temperatures.
Especially in the flower form.
Yeah. So, and in the concentrate form. So if, like, I used to have like a pound of weed at a time, I would fucking keep it in this wine fridge because it was low humidity. I'd have it vacuum sealed, but it was preserving it, and it was noticeable. Especially because if you think about in the summer when it gets hot as fuck, if it's just hot as fuck in your apartment and you just have your weed sitting there chilling in your closet, like the quality is going to go down significantly. In the cure, the flavor, the smoke, like it does impact it. Where if you do a proper cold cure, it'll actually improve the quality of it. Yeah. So just a little side note for anyone that may concern. It's free game.
Take notes.
Yeah, take notes. So that's fun.
Yeah,
We got to
it's
get
too
better
fun.
with picking our moments.
Yeah, I think having the names on there of what the sound is would help.
That'll help.
Did you have anything you wanted to bring up before we wrap it up? Almost at 1:30 right now.
I feel like I'm a fucking chund, man.
All right, and let's pick a name out of the hat.
Okay. All right, let's pick a name of the hat. It's
I
your
think
turn.
it's my turn.
Can't get you out of my head. Your loving is all I think about. Just can't get you out of my head.
And we do keep all the names of the songs in a Jay-Z hat.
Oh,
The
I didn't know.
444
Oh,
album.
that's sick, dude. I like Jay-Z.
This was merch I got I went to his show when he
Oh,
was
that's
here.
sick. I have a reasonable doubt. Took. That was his first album.
Okay, let's grab this one. Let's see what it is. Stoner's Anthem.
Oh, let's go.
Stoner's Anthem.
Okay.
It is April. Dude, it's April. It's almost 420, actually.
Yo, so Detour.
Actually, yeah, it's
just,
almost 420.
He actually just made a post on Instagram that I need to repost. I haven't done it yet since we just sat down. But for the Stoner's Anthem,
Where can we listen? Can we even listen to it?
you cannot listen to it, but you can pre-save it with the link in my bio. Oh, shit. Well,
Yo, this is the only one where we wouldn't get copyright striked.
I could email it to you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that okay for us to... Is this pod... This
'Cause
pod
it's
won't be
gonna come out
released.
next week.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, I don't think fucking Detour won't even notice.
Dude, imagine he hears the pod. He's like, what the hell, man?
He might.
It's like, that was...
Should we do it? Okay, maybe we should do a different song then. Or will we be previewing it?
Yeah. Well, but it's just a preview, yeah.
Yeah, it's a preview.
And this won't be coming out till after 420, I think.
No, it's going to be just before it, but we're not going to play it this
No,
week.
because, okay, well... Oh, you're right. It'll be on the 16th.
Yeah. But that's okay. We're going to preview a song I produced and am featured on with my
Yeah.
buddy Detour. He's a very talented rapper.
You should send it to the podcast email.
Okay, I'm going to do that right now. And yeah, Stoner's Anthem is coming out on 420. Oh, dude, I hope I'm good for this fucking trial shift tomorrow. God damn, that would fuck me up.
Did you do your taxes?
No, bro. Why are you asking me that?
Taxes are due April 30th.
Dude, fuck them motherfuckers, bro. What are they gonna do if I don't file them? They ain't gonna do shit.
Did you send it to the email?
Dude, I know some people who haven't filed their taxes in like 8 years.
Yeah, it's not a good idea.
It's not a good idea.
Because, yeah.
I guess I'm gonna file them, but it's just, it's bullshit.
I won't tell anyone.
No, but they're saying I owe money from last year's taxes.
Oh, so you just won't file
No,
it?
but I don't have the money to pay it. And they keep emailing me saying I owe this money. It's like, bro,
Dude, you have to pay interest on that.
what am I supposed to do? I have to pay interest on my fucking credit card too. So
You have a line of credit?
no, I could probably
Fucked
get
up,
that.
bro.
I should probably do that.
I mean, now you can't probably get one.
I know, dude. Fuck this shit, dude. I'm gonna start selling drugs.
That was hyperbole. He will not be selling drugs.
I'm
It
gonna
was
sell.
only a fantasy.
Okay,
theoretical
you're right.
situation.
I'm gonna start cooking drugs. I'm not gonna sell them. I'm gonna
And by drugs, he means tasty food at a restaurant.
like methamphetamine.
All right. Did you send it to the email?
I did,
Allegedly.
yeah, I did.
He's allegedly.
I
gonna do
allegedly sent this to the email.
that. Which one? My email?
Yeah, Thorun
Oh, okay.
Skundo podcast.
Oh, wow, I didn't see. I only see the.
You might have to refresh. You have to.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So this is Stoner's Anthem.
All right.
Detour Skundo P. Today's episode has been kind of lame.
How dare you?
I know Thorun doesn't want to hear it.
Yeah, it is pretty loud, huh?
Your turn, man.
Life is good. For real. Call this shit my stoner's anthem. I don't know you, I won't pass it. Haters talking, I hear static. Got some thoughts alone, I fathom. Had to sample from a classic. I'm no fucking Marshall Mathers. Rapping like it fucking matters. People ask me how it happened. Ay, yo, call this shit my stoner's anthem. Hey, yo, I don't know you, I won't pass it. Nah, hey, haters talking, I hear static. Noise, yo, got some thoughts alone, I fathom. One step closer to greatness. I do not bet on a fake shit. My spot on the map had to take it. Cushion Dior, my fragrance. I find a wall and then spread. Letters as hard as the pavement. Adjusting the angles, they shapeshift.
Young Venom, I know what my name is. Look,
I got my
Okay,
toes
so
to
that
play
has
pitch.
been
Come
episode
to your
8
city, I'm
of the Thorun
raging.
Skundo
March it
podcast.
on every
I would like to
occasion.
thank all the
Don't you be
listeners.
late on the pavement.
And,
I'm a beast
next
that doesn't
time.
need taming.
Next
Whether
week,
I'm sober
episode
or
9.
wasted, yeah. I've got self-control, but I'm still rocking the latest.
I'm wrapping it up.
Boy,
I'm
I've
saying
been
goodbye.
about this graph
Oh,
shit
oh,
built
yeah,
to
yeah.
last,
Yeah,
been
so you
built
can
by
add your
blacksmiths,
part.
chopping tree
Okay.
that lumber
Yeah,
jack
thanks
shit,
for
cutting
listening.
letters with a hatchet. I see these rappers, they just jack
This
shit like
was
online, they
episode
don't
8
do
of the
jack
Thorun
shit.
Skundo
Say it's them, I
podcast.
see them
A little bit of
acting,
a
push
shift in
pack, you're
direction
barely
again.
trapping.
Yeah.
Hey,
I hope
okay.
you got to this point,
call
and
this shit
thank you
my
for listening.
stoner's anthem.
Thank you. Take care.
Hey, yeah, I don't know you, I won't pass it.